Welcome, everyone. You can see on my screen today, I'm coming to talk about the status of the diversity visa lottery winners for the DV 2021. And I'm going to explain why am I making this video today. I'm going to link this video with so many questions people have been asking me over and over. Some of those questions: what is going to happen after September 30th? As you know that September 30th is the end of the fiscal year 2021. And from October 1st, the interviews for the diversity visa lottery winners for the DV 2022 will start. So will that be forever gone? That will be the biggest question number one. Related to that, there are some of the smaller questions. Some people, they haven't received what we call the second notification letter, which is the interview letter. So what will that be? What does that mean if you haven't received the interview letter up to this particular moment? Will you be able to be asked to submit it for the final documentation if you are the DV Lottery Winner 2021 and be given the interview? I'll come to answer that one. And the bigger answer, the other bigger part is the lawsuit, which is for the DV 2021. And when I'm going to talk about the DV 2021 lawsuit, I'll be also talking about the judgment of the DV 2020, the judgment which was out. I've already made the video about the key issues which were addressed and what part of that. And there was one question, usually we didn't know the answer before, but after the judgment, we know the answer, because we used to know that only the plaintiff will be the one be given the visas. And that has been something, even the lawyers, when they are going to the court, they say this is going to be for people who are in that particular lawsuit. But we'll go to see what does the judgment say, because I know there are so many people who don't have money or who were not in the part of the lawsuit. How will that be able to do that? Because when we talk about even the DV 2021, the lawsuit, the timeline for people to register for and to pay that, you pay the 1,500 was March 29th, and those who were going to sign after March 29th was 2,000. So for that particular case, so many people may be late for that. So for that particular case, they are not part of the lawsuit. So how are they going to benefit? I will give my non-lawyer's description and my understanding, but I will go to read the actual decision from Judge Mehta, who made the decision for the lawsuit for the DV 2020, and how that decision is going to be helping also the other decision for the DV 2021. Sorry for that long introduction, everyone, but I want to make sure that I capture everything. So welcome, everyone. If today is your first time to come to my YouTube channel, I really appreciate. This is EBM Ernest Boniface Makulilo talking to my home office here in Belton, Missouri. Very much excited today to bring to you this good information. It is frustrating information, but it is also good news once we see what happened for the DV 2020. Despite for this long time, their justice has been saved, and how that good news is going to sparkle and going to continue for the DV 2022. So where should you do at the moment? The first thing, remember, if today is your first time to come across to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Apart from that, you need to share the video to others. Even if you are not the DV Lottery winner, you need to know that this can be able to be applicable for the DV 2022, because there are certain things going on around. So let me start with the for those who are the DV Lottery winners for DV 2021. So I can take you back. I'm going to take you back to April 22nd, 2020. First of all, 1 month before April 22nd, which was on March, the beginning of March, almost all embassies around the world started stopping to do the interview because of the pandemic in respective countries around the world. That was before the presidential proclamation or the executive orders from the former President Trump. So on April 22nd, there was the first suspension of immigration from April 22nd for 60 days until June 22nd or 23rd. On June 24th, another extension was implemented for 6 more months until the end of December. Then end of December, it was extended until March. So all this time, people were not given the visas, a special green card visas. What does the proclamation say? The proclamation was to suspend people to enter in the United States of America. The suspension was not to not give the visa. For that particular case, because the Department of State, through embassies, stopped doing the visa interviews from April, the March one, apart from the March, let's go March, many people were not given. But let's say even from March 2020, but officially from the suspension from April 22nd until end of March 2021, no one was given the visas and the special green card lottery winners. That affected the 2 groups of DV lottery winners. The remaining part of the DV 2020 winners, so those were supposed to be interviewed between March to September, were not interviewed. Or most you can say from April, were not interviewed. So for the first 6 months, people were not interviewed. April, May, June, July, and August. Then the last one was September. So for 6 months, people were not interviewed. Then from October 1st, 2021, October 1st, 2020, which is the fiscal year of 2021, already the DV 2021, who were supposed to start for the fiscal year of 2021 from October 1st, 2020. So from October, November 2020, December 2020, those are 3 months. Then January, February, and March, for the first 6 months of the DV lottery winners who were supposed to be interviewed, were not have opportunity to be interviewed because they were under what we call the suspension, which was still for the DV 2020, affected them to 2021. So the embassies also continued to give the visas, despite the fact that the proclamation didn't require the Department of State not to issue the visa. The proclamation was to stop people to enter in America. So according to the lawsuit, according to the decision, I'll go, the no visa policy was a misinterpretation or going further to the things which were not part of the Department of State. The Department of State or the embassy should give the visa, and someone to get into America, that will be the other issue of Department of Homeland Security. Once you enter you arrive at the port of entry, you will be denied to enter in America and you'll be told to go back. That will be based on the situation, which is another department to allow you to enter. But the Department of State should give someone a visa because the person is supposed to get the visa, but to be whether to be allowed to enter in America or to be denied to enter, that is another job of Homeland Security. I can give you an example. There is one guy from Uganda I was talking with, and I was supporting on the beginning of the application and everything. I'm to go to the visa. When he was coming to America, already got the visa before the pandemic or when it is starting, but didn't get enough money. So when the proclamation of not entering America started, the mistake she did, she traveled through Europe, was allowed to come because it was already a green card holder at that time, was not so. But the mistake, he went through Europe, used it through Delta Airways, Delta partnering with KLM. But there was another restriction for people from Schengen to stop that, whether you're passing through that airport. So the person was supposed to go through Middle Eastern flights through that way. So even if you are now the winner, or you are coming to travel, just to be in a safe side, travel, use other type of airline. Don't use directly the Western one, because there is still some confusion when it comes to the restriction based from Schengen people. So, if I might go, for that particular reason, the DV Lottery winner 2021 will only be interviewed between, or have been interviewed between the month of April when they started and up to September. So that means only 6 months instead of 12 months. So they'll be interviewed from April, May, June, and most of them they're not interviewed in April, even because you have to get at least a month before your interview date to be given the information that you are going for interview. So majority of people start to get interviewed maybe the end or almost end of April of this year. So April, May, June, July, August, September. It's just 6 months. The embassies around the world are not capable of interviewing and issuing over 55,000 visas around the world within 6 months, something which usually takes over a year. That's number one. So no matter what, you have to know that the V2021 winner have been affected into too many ways. Number one way is half their time to be processing for the visa, half of the year, the first 6 months, they were also under the immigration suspension, so they were not given the visa. And the other second half, which is from April to today, still we are in the pandemic. So even the embassies are not processing visas in the same numbers, because they cannot bring everybody into the confined room, because they have to follow the CDC guidelines. In addition to that, the embassies around the world, they operate basing on the local regulations too. If, for instance, the country like in Rwanda, President Kagame, when he's going to put the nobody is supposed to move from one country to another, or from one city to another within Rwanda, means the embassy will not be able to offer interviews. What if someone is from another city, has to drive to come to the visa interview in Kigali? That will not happen. The same way, for instance, in Kenya, if there are local realities or local restrictions which can make the difficulties of free movement within the country, the embassy will be able to force it to not to issue the when we are talking about these particular opportunities which are available for people. So there are so many challenges where people will be having the difficulties on processing the visa. And to do that, you will see embassies around the world, either despite of the pandemic or the realities, they have different regulations. I can give you some of the examples, and let's go to the example of the embassy of Nairobi in Kenya. This is what they have written on their particular website: status of visa processing at the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi. So we are starting with the immigrant visa, because the immigrant visas are the visas which have been given priority by the government. The US government said, process the immigrant visa first. By immigrant visa, we are talking about green card. But when you look on the priorities of the green card, usual, they said the family first, but in other way, but the green card, lottery comes later. So you can see, this is what they say. This is what the prioritization which was given. I will go to in accordance to the priorities set by the Department of State. Remember, these guidelines came out around May, if not mistaken. The immigrant visa service are prioritized according to the Department of Guidelines, which found here. The U.S. Embassy in Nairobi is maximizing our limited resources to accommodate as many tiers. There is tier 1 and tier 2. Remember, tier 1 and tier 2 are the immediate relative and the fiancé cases as possible of the U.S. citizen. And then the embassy is also scheduling the limited number of visas for tier 3. Tier 3 are these visas for certain people, government, and employees, whatever abroad. And tier 4 is the one which is employment and vice visa. So even when it comes to the priority, usual, if you go, I already put this one, I made the video one time, the visa prioritization when it was in April, end of April, I did this video in May. When you look on the categories where the prioritization, they will be able to say tier 1 is immediate relative or adoption, whatever. Tier 2, the relatives, fiancé, or returning resident visas. Tier 3, family preference, blah, 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 blah. Tier 4, the last group is diversity visas. You see? So if you look, this is the official guideline from the US government. So with these guidelines, is going to affect the DV2021 winners up to now. Why they are so slow? Because they're not a priority number 1. This is going to affect the DV2022. Why? Because they are not tier number 1. They are tier number 4. Which they say here, let me show you. They say, which is so crazy, which I don't understand. We further acknowledge that certain programs, including the diversity visa program, operate on the fiscal year basis required by law. So if you acknowledge this one, the Department of State values the diversity visa program and is making efforts as many diversity visas as possible, consistent with other priorities. So if you are accepting that these visas, they are going to expire, if you look on tier 1, tier 2, if you are adopted person, if you are immediate relative, you are spouse, you are a father, you are a mother, you are a child of the US citizen, you are fiancé, whatever, those visas don't have the expiration date that if you don't get it by September 30th, you are not going to be given the visa. This one, they can go beyond September 30th, but the lottery visas, they know they have a deadline. So despite of that, is coming to be tier 4. I mean, the lottery is going to be tier 4. So this is what is going to say you. The diversity visas, so this is very important. The embassy in Nairobi is processing a very limited number of diversity visa cases. This is not just the embassy of Nairobi. This is all embassies around the world. This is for all embassies around the world. Please note that we are currently not able to accept the diversity visa cases from other consular districts. Meaning, there are some people who are, let's say, you are from Ethiopia. You say, oh, maybe in Ethiopia you have so many restrictions. You want to change the visa location to Kenya. You are not allowed to do that because they say they're not going to do that kind of priority to you. The embassy values the diversity visa program and is making efforts. So the same sentence which they are putting into there that way. So, yeah, so that is the problem. The diversity visa lottery will likely not approach the statutory selling for the fiscal year because of the pandemic. However, this is very important. However, as a result of the COVID-19, number of visas issued in lower priority preference, which is diversity visa is one among tier 4, in such programs, such as diversity visa programs, likely will not approach the statutory selling of in the fiscal year 2021. In a very simple language, they will not be able to process all the visas by the end of the fiscal year, which is September 30th, 2021. So that is something you need to understand. What is the status of DV2021? The embassies are not going to process all of you. Why? Because it is in tier 4. Diversity visa lottery is tier 4, is not a priority. The priority of the immigrant visas, diversity visa is not. Despite, don't bring to me, oh, my case number is whatever. I haven't got the request of the documents. I've been asked to submit the documents, or should I submit the documents before being asked? Whatever it is, there's nothing you can do to fasten the process, because this is the official document from the US government giving the decision, like forcing all the embassies to do this backlog and to how to do. This is the processing that the diversity visa lottery is not the priority. Diversity visa lottery is a low preference category, such as the diversity visa program will not be able to be processed. So this is not just for the Embassy of Kenya. This is part of the all embassies around the world. So what should you do now? Nothing to do than praying to God. So, but the good news is we have the DV 2020 decision. This is the DV 2020 decision. I made the video. The video is explaining about the breaking news about the Gomez et al. Plentiful versus Biden and the Blinken, which is Secretary of State, and all other cases, which the case was the same that despite during the pandemic, on March 20, 2020, the Department of State temporarily suspended the routine visa services at consular embassies around the world. But also, following the President Trump's the presidential proclamation that suspended the entry. Remember, it was suspension of entry, not suspension of the visas. So, of the United States, this one, the Department of to entry. The suspension was to enter to US, but for them, they went ahead and suspend even to give the visas. So for that particular situation, the decision is very clear. I can just click the final decision. What was the decision? That is the decision. The decision was the Department of State should give the visas to all people. But not all, by all, I mean 9,905. But this is very important. There are some people who are in that particular lawsuit, but already they've got their visas. Those people will be removed from this number of 9,000 whatever. So 9,000 can be even more than that, because there are some people who are in the lawsuit already been given the visas. So the defendants, by defendants is the US government, President Biden and the Department of State, Blinken, Secretary of State, shall process the DV2020 applications in a random order until those 9,905 diversity visas have been granted. Regardless of the timeline, they will be granted. So if you look for this particular decision, so the same lawsuit has the same basis. If the same judge is making this decision, which is becoming the landmark for further decisions, that means that the DV2021, there is a lawsuit for that. So with the lawsuit of the DV2021, the decision will be the same, that despite the fiscal year ending in September 30th, the Department of State should continue giving the visas, but that will be after the decision from the court. Does that make sense up to that particular moment? I know it might be confusing, it might be frustrating to others, but it has to, first of all, to go through the process of the court, so that people should be able, the court to be able to order. But the Department of State could not be able to force without having the court order. So the court order will be the one forcing that particular situation. And the other this is another part which I want for you to understand. I know for the DV 2021 or DV 2022, people might be asking themselves. Some people might be asking themselves. Example, someone can ask themselves a question. But for instance, what does it mean when it say the court ordering that one? But is this one going to be only for the people who were in the plaintiff or not? This is what is going to talk about. It has to exclude those people who already been given the visa before that year will be removed on that particular situation. So, but the question people should ask themselves, some people are not in the lawsuit. But if you're not in the lawsuit, how does that is going to affect you? What does that mean? The way they say defendants shall process the DV 2020 application in a random order. What does that mean? It means the judge means that it is the order according to the Congress, the decision of the Congress, according to the law. What does the law say? So, while I have to find some of the while people wanted to be able to just to be a plaintiff, it doesn't mean that if your case number is 85,000, you'll be able to be given the visa. In a random order, according to the Congress, according to the law, it means that is a random, but they have to follow the case numbers. So the court will not force. So the court will not force or order. That means it will not force that these people should be given the visa, only the plaintiff. No, the court will not do that. So that is something the court cannot be able to do. So the court says you have to just give the visa. So thank you for the people who were what they call the plaintiff. But being the plaintiff doesn't mean that it's a guarantee to be given the visa. This is the reason people I'm telling those who are part of the lawsuit or who miss it to be the lawsuit, because there are some people who miss the lawsuit and they think that because I missed the lawsuit, that means I will not be able to given the visa. No. According to the judge said, they have to follow the process of the diversity visa. So the process of the diversity visa is random, and they have to use the case numbers. So if they're going to use the case number, it's thankful for the people who opened the case, but they will not be able to give the visa to them. So those are the few important things you need to know. So for the people who are DV Lottery 2021, they will be having that opportunity. They'll be having that opportunity to be given the visas, because I've been able to say this is something which is a good news, and you can be able to find how that happened. But so people should not be able to be upset because we have seen the decision from the court, and this decision for DV 2021 will be able to be for the DV 2022. But in a very quick way, what does the DV 2021 is going to do? They have opened a long time ago. So if you go to look on the points on the litigation, I mean on the claim for DV 2021 lawsuit now, this is talking about the deadline, when you do that one, all those kind of things. But what are the details of this lawsuit? And what are they going to sue? So this is the following things on the lawsuit. Number one, they are going to add the following. We are looking to further assist the DV 2021 immigrant visa applicants facing the delays into the following things. Number one, that means the a DV 2021 selectee has submitted the initial paperwork, but the case is stuck on the consular. So what are they going to? They are going to seek. If you look on this one, they are going to seek. That means is a restraining order from the judge that seeks to have all plentiful. But this you have seen now. Even if you're not plentiful, you'll be able to do that. That means all plentiful adjudicated in a reasonable time frame and not later than September 30th. But if in case September 30th is over and the Department of State is not able to meet that deadline, we are seeking to reserve all the DV 2021 and issued DV visas to be processed after the September 30th. Even if while they filed this lawsuit, they say that even they are talking like what they wanted on the lawsuit, that even those plentiful with high case numbers are able to process and enter the United States. That they wanted also if you have high case numbers. So the judge in the decision, if you go to this particular decision, said no, you cannot be able to do that. So they cannot issue the visas to the plentiful who have high case numbers, because that will be to go against go against what is the Congress. It will be to go against the Congress. That's why he say it's supposed to go. That's why judge says it has to go according to the random order. The random order is according to the law enacted by the Congress. Yeah, so they are going to reserve. They are going to do that way, but the dependents, the plentiful who have high case number, they are not just going to be given just because they are part of the lawsuit. It will be for those people who have case numbers is understandable. So this lawsuit cannot guarantee visa assurance or denied, or that is something like that. So yeah. So this is the lawsuit they talked about, how you can be able to do that, where the case has been filed. So the decision of this case hasn't been being able to be given out. But after the decision of yesterday, after the decision of August 17th from Judge Mehta, it means now the finalization of the judgment for DV 2021 will happen very soon. And once it happens, obviously, even if I'll be a judge, it will be copy and paste of this one. So that is something that will be something we'll be able to sorry. That will be something we'll be able yeah, so that will be something we'll be able to be able to do that for the DV 2021. So that is still as a good news. It will be a good news for that particular situation to help someone. So if you have any question, I believe I've been able to clarify some of these particular questions. So I'm going to answer some random questions. I know some people have already answered some of the questions here, or asked some of the questions coming from different. So will this DV 2020 the new DV, the lawsuit of DV 2020, this 9,000, we're talking about this 9,905 of DV 2020. are they going to take any number for the visas to be issued for the DV2021 or DV2022? No. These visas are only going to be, even if they are going to be given today, it will be going to be counted back way towards the fiscal year of DV 2020. So the same way for the DV 2021, if the decision is going to be made, maybe 20,000 visas to be given will not affect the DV 2022 winners. So don't be upset for the previous winners that they are coming to take your visas. They are not going to take your visas. But the decision doesn't guarantee you from not being denied the visa. If you go to the visa interview, don't meet the qualification that you don't have high school, you don't have 2 years of qualifying work experience, you'll be denied. You said you don't have a child, then you come with shop with a child, you'll be denied. So the interview will be the same or similar the same way. So that is something else you need to understand. You have to make sure that you know for sure that is going to happen. Another question which you need to you can ask yourself, or you are trying to want to understand. My case number is 50,000 or 60,000. Usual at the moment, they haven't approved for the increasing of the DV visas from 55,000 to 80,000. So if they haven't increased, so basically the maximum number of visas is 55,000, but in most cases there will be 50,000 people. So in most cases, what happens is only people if you are in Africa, your case number, if your case number is, let's say, 55,000, likely you will not be able to you will not be able to be called for the interview. That to be honest. We have to be honest on the realities. Yeah. So for that particular case, that will be something for you to be able to understand. It will be able to very helpful, but not a guarantee of so many things on that particular sense. Okay, another question might be, what happens if, let's say, I'm the DV World Title winner for 2021 or 2022? Can I apply for the DV 2023? Yes, you can apply. You can apply. So if you can apply, there is no problem. And don't feel sorry that if you apply, you are taking someone's position. No. Just apply. There is no problem with that one. So this is the part I was trying to explain to people, which says, additional, the court declines the ACA from Kennedy and Muhammad Plentiful request that the named Plentiful be the priority to over the Gomez class, meaning the people who are only identified in the lawsuit will be the only to be prioritized. So this is what I'm going to explain to people, that so this green card lottery is established by the Immigration Nationality Act. So the judge says, Plentiful have not, they say the Plentiful have not identified as any reason that the court should deviate from the Immigration Nationality Act's provision that diversity visas shall be issued to eligible qualified immigrants strictly in a randomly order established by the Secretary of State for the fiscal year involved. Meaning, they say, the court appreciates that the Plentiful, you went there and put your case, have made the initial effort or additional efforts by filing the suit, but it is not bound. It is bound to respect Congress decision that the processing of the diversity visas should be processed in a random order, and the court will not order defendants to prioritize. By defendants, I mean the US government or Department of State, to prioritize certain DV lottery winners or applicants over the class members. That means if you are the DV lottery winner for the DV 2020, but your case number is 70,000, because you are in the lawsuit, they are not going to prioritize you over someone who is 25,000 case number and hasn't been part of the lawsuit. So that it should be able to clarify on that particular manner. So for that particular case, the judge continues by saying, accordingly, the court orders defenses to obtain the good faith to adjudicate this application of only these people. So the people will be put according to the Congress decision of following the randomly selection of the diversity and in the order of the case numbers, and not just because someone is in the lawsuit. So what does that mean? If you don't have the money to pay for the lawsuit, don't pay. The lawsuit will going to benefit everyone. That's how it is. The lawsuit will be beneficial to everyone, not only the plaintiff. So that is a good news for some people. So I think that I've been able to answer all these good questions, and I'm going to put the link of this one so that you can understand well what do we mean by everything. Up to that particular moment, is there any question? Any question you want me to go through to respond on this particular case? But for me, I see this is a very good news for the DV 2021 winners too, because the same decision, the lawsuit for the DV 2021, the basis of the lawsuit is the same as DV 2020, and they were also affected for 6 months not being interviewed. So the decision will be the same. So for that particular case, that's good news. Let's clap our hand. But it's bad news for the people with the high case numbers, obviously. So despite that you haven't been asking for the documents, despite the fact that you have a letter, which is the interview date, don't get frustrated. You will be, whether it will be now or will be, the decision will be in December, whatever, but before December, the people will continue to be given the visa. But the DV 2021 winners, if they are going to be processed also, they are not going to take the visas for the DV 2022. That will be something else. They're not going to take the visas. But the DV 2022, if the visas will not be able to be processed, the proclamation made the embassy not giving the visa. But if the embassy was to give the visa, but one visa each week, they could not be sued for that. So the DV 2022, they will be in so much trouble because the pandemic is still going on. So the rate of the visas for the DV 2022 from October will be slow. So maybe at that particular time, the base of the lawsuit will be different. That will be to ask the Congress to give extra, or to give the extra or the amendment of the Immigration and Nationality Act, that if the DV visas at the end of the fiscal year, if the embassies or the Department of State fails to give the 55,000 visa, should he continue to give the up to 55,000 visas to close that one instead of just the deadline? It will be the earlier the better. If they give 55,000 visas before end of September, that's over. Or if it goes after September 30th and they haven't finished, they'll have to continue. That should be the new amendment, if that will be able to help as many people as possible. For those people who they speak Swahili, please try your best also to go to my other YouTube channel. I have 2 YouTube channels. One is which is this one, which is EBMSCHOLARS, and another one is EBM Swahili. So make sure that you also go to my YouTube of EBM Swahili if you speak Swahili, and be able to get those particular links and the information, everything you needed to, anything you needed to understand. Those will be very, very important. So I can show on the screen here. This is my channel, which the aim is to reach 100,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone. I'm posting a lot of videos. I'll be posting over and over. Every single day I'll be updating you with information. For those people, some people, they speak Swahili and they do not know English, or they prefer videos in Swahili. These are the videos. They are there. There is a channel which is EBM Swahili. You'll be able to get so many information there in Swahili on that particular area. So those are the things which I have a scholarship group, and I have Facebook group, which also is the group for people who are looking for scholarships and the green card. So on the I'm going to put the link on the comment or in the description of this video. You'll be able to see the link for scholarship, the link to go to my sorry. So you'll be able to go and get the information on different. That is the Facebook link. I think you'll be able to open. You'll be able, it's a green card group information. I'm going to put the link. It has this number of members, but here we also answer a lot of questions. And the good thing about here, when you answer a question, the question will be there. So the videos are there, but also usually we answer a lot of questions in detail, so you can be able to see most of the information. So, so I'm going to also to post it. I have let me send you, like, this is a group for it has 2,000 members. This is a group for is the overall group for what green card, and then there is a group for scholarships. I'm going to post. This is a brand new group for that particular case. So please make sure that you take the opportunity to access this information. And one more thing I want to help people. If you want to find any video about EBM, just go this way, EBM Scholars, and there maybe you want to find the information about finding a host. You write EBM Scholars host, you'll find the information about host. If you write EBM Scholars interview, you'll find information about interview. So this is way on how you search the information. EBM Scholars affidavit of support, you'll find the affidavit. EBM Scholars, so that is one of the way you can be able to do that way to find more information, specific topic you are looking for. Or if you come on the playlist here, you'll be able to go here and look which playlist do you want to play. Do you want to have question and answers? Do you want scholarships? Do you want weight loss? Do you want whatever you want? They have this. You want specifically to study in Germany, the information. You want to just cost of living, you find it there. You want to about dancing, you want about upcoming DV lottery. So all those kind of things are very, very good for everyone. So let's go together and make sure that we increase the number of the people to subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch the videos, share the videos to others, so that we can be able also to do that, to be able to support one another in one way or another. So those are the few things I want to make sure that I wanted to share with you for today, and about the lawsuit, about the status. And I'll make a separate video to explain detail about the status of the increasing the voluntary visas to 80,000. What is the status up to this moment, especially following the infrastructure bill to be passed by the Congress? What does that mean? So thank you each and everyone for your continued support to my YouTube channel. Again, remember to subscribe. This is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM. Share the video, subscribe, put on your Facebook, to Instagram, put whatever. I have no problem. I'll be happy to see many people are accessing this opportunity and they are able to utilize. This is the end of my video. Thank you, and goodbye. I'm going to put more videos about the Green Card Lottery as we are getting ready to start the Green Card DV 2023 in the month.